here from Young and Wildly Successful, talking to you all about alchemy of purpose. You guys have made the first decision, which is sometimes the hardest, to literally work out and start to go through the process of what actually lights me up, what actually gives me what I want from life, because forever is a long time. And if you think about how long we spend in our careers and we chase the silver rabbit of life, we're chasing these things down and we wonder if they're what we really even want or we even need. It's really simple when we make it so simple ourselves. When we continue to rely on other people to tell us what we want, to give us what we need, but that's not what Alchemy of Purpose is all about. Alchemy of Purpose is all about what do you want? And what do you need? And what's going to light you up every single day for the rest of your working career? Because so many people I meet and I speak to are in jobs they don't like, to work for people they don't enjoy, to get results they don't even know why they're even doing it, and why this cycle continues. You'll find that you never really truly have purpose. You never really truly feel alive when you're going to work. And you spend most of your time there. You spend your whole life there. So if you're going to be there, then at least show up. And if you're going to be there, at least show up for the best version of you. And most importantly, playing the long game. And a little bit about my background. You guys are probably very familiar with me around why you best programs and services. But why I'm coaching the Alchemy of Purpose is because I've been fortunate enough to work in 10 years of corporate infrastructure, which is training, recruitment, talent acquisition, finding out who the best players are and finding out what their skills and where they're going to go and how they're going to get there. Like, you play the long game with people and you give them the infrastructure and the environment to thrive and to grow and to be the best version of them. This stuff starts to happen because where you focus your employees and your energy, your results will show. And if you give people the infrastructure, as I mentioned before, and you the infrastructure to put yourself into a place of learning, a place of growth, and a clear goalpost. Because, as I said before, a lot of people don't know where they're going, so it's very hard to score in purpose because there's a big disillusion between talent and skill. Talent you guys have naturally. Talent is something that you guys are already very good at. So what we do is we go to workplaces and we just use our talents, because our talents, we've been told that will get us paid, and we'll get paid, we'll be able to buy a house, and we'll be able to have a few dogs and a nice car and all these things, because our talents get us a return on investment. But the difference between talent and skill is hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft and doing things that you actually want to do. And you may not get paid as much in return at the start because you are going after passion. And if everyone in the world went after their passion, they were happy, the world would be a much happier place. 75% of Australian workers are disengaged in their workplace. Disengaged. Which means they don't want to be there. They'd rather be someone else. They'd rather be somewhere else. They don't even enjoy the work. And we're trying to help you break free from being the 75% of employees that don't like what they do anymore. And to be a 25%er, which is people that are on purpose, going after what they want, you can't just flip the light switch and then all this starts to happen and have an idea. It's like, I really want to help people. I really want to start a company, or I really want to do this because I think it's my talent and my skill. It's not that simple. But when we set a plan, we set a goal, and we start working towards it, everything becomes very possible. Everything becomes gettable, and it's intangible. These are measurable tools and skills to get you what you want, not just hoping and wishing that life's going to get better by chance, only by change when you start developing your skills and leveling up your learning, leveling up where you want to go, leveling up, finding the right mentors and environments to support you and assist you. When we start to do these simple things, you start to see that alignment starts to happen. How you feel, how you think, and how you behave start to align, and things start to change for you in your career. Not because your career is changing, because you're leveling up. You're having more awareness, having more clear direction. And people say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge with application is power. So you may know a lot of things about what you want to do in the world and what you want to do right now in terms of your purpose, but that knowledge without actually application is nothing at all. Because to know and not yet to do is still not to know. So we want to make sure we're taking our knowledge and we're taking our emotion And we're applying that into our alchemy of purpose, which is all what this 12 weeks is all about, is how are we going to get from here to where we want to go, from the things that we maybe are a little lost, a little concerned, that have no awareness at all, we just know we want to do more, or you know where you're going, you just don't know how to get there. These are the things that we're going to be working with you guys on over the next 12 weeks, because once you have a clear goal, once you go unconditional, once you become obsessed, and you do anything you want and everything you need to do to get there, things will start to change, which is super exciting. I've worked with now over 900 employees in my time, that their lives have got better because they've put the work in. They've put the infrastructure into play, which is not just what I'm talented at, what am I skillful at, and what is my purpose? Where do I want to be 5 years from now? So many of us play the short game. The short game of life, which is my next paycheck, my next promotion, my next holiday, my next, reward and recognition, my next, bonus, whatever it is. And we play this short game of life, but the people that play the short game in their careers lose, because you're always reactive to circumstance. Long-term success, long-term purpose is literally developing a plan of like, where would I be in 5 and 10, and then staying the course. Not getting attracted by the shiny object syndromes of life, not getting caught up in, self-sabotage and procrastination, and then going after the pleasures of being good at what you do. Because I see a lot of people in business, entrepreneurs, business owners, and employees or employers get this wrong. They get caught up in these pleasures of life. We start making money and we start spending more, or we start getting great bonuses and we go start buying more. It's like, this is not how it's meant to be. Play the long game. If you played the long game, you would win, because 12 months or 12 weeks is nothing in the scheme of your life. Think about how many years ahead you have of your career. People are like, oh, 1 whole year, I've got to do this? I've got to commit to growing myself as a person for 1 whole year? No way. I don't have a whole year. Time's running out. You do have a whole year, and you do have 12 weeks to make sure you execute this plan perfectly well. But no one but yourself will get you the result. We talk about this all the time. Use the tools, don't be a tool. Because I can give you all the tools of working with 900 employees and helping them thrive in their careers, and working with some of the biggest organizations in Australia about peak performance, around talent acquisition, about finding the right people, about getting them in the right seats of the bus so the company can thrive. Because when your employees and you are thriving and you are happy, things start to happen. Movement starts to happen. You start to literally get traction like you never had it before. But that's all words if you don't apply, you don't put the work in over the next 12 weeks to get the result. Because you can go through the next 12 weeks and be like, oh, Jules, that sounds great. Yep, that sounds amazing. Oh, that makes sense. But remember, awareness and knowledge is nothing without application. So doing the homework, spending the time in the right emotion doing the homework, challenging yourself, challenging and pushing yourself to be honest and to be real and to be vulnerable, because Alchemy of Purpose is very much about that. I don't really care about your talent. I care about what you're skillful at. I care about what you care about. I care about what's going to light you up inside. I don't care if you're a great accountant. I don't care if you're a great doctor. I don't care if you're a great nurse or a school teacher. These are talent-based technical abilities, and that's powerful because that's what gets you a paycheck now. But if you want to have Alchemy of Purpose, and you want to feel like you're making a difference in your own life, and as a result of that, you're projecting more happiness and results into others, you have to go deeper than surface level. You have to go deeper than what you've learned in a textbook. You have to seek the answers inside yourself. That's why spending time in this homework is so important. And there's a great quote, I really love it. There was a picture on Facebook, and it was a picture, and it was a thing saying, sometimes I need expert advice. That's why I talk to myself. The expert that you seek is you. And great mentors and great coaches in your life will help you. Like the team at Young and Wildly Successful, I'm sure you've got other mentors to support people in your life. But the greatest asset you have is yourself. The real answers come from you, because no one can tell you how to feel. No one can tell you how to think. No one can really tell you what's going to light you up. Only you can do that. And Alchemy of Purpose is very much about being yourself in a world that's trying to make you someone else. And just embracing your talents. Embracing your skill, embracing what makes you great, and then going all chips in on that. So many people focus on what they can't do and what they don't have rather than what they can do and what they do have. When you change the way you see things, The way things you look at change. So what you do have is great skill and talent. Now let's continue to beat on that craft and make it better. And less worry about what we're not good at. Because what we're not good at is a place of fear and a place of ego. It's like, I'm worried about this, I'm fearful because I'm going to fail. And the more time and energy we put into not feeling good enough, we can't do something, the less time we spend doing the things that we are good at. And I love this quote. For every second that we're worried about things that we can't do, we lose a second of doing things that we can. For every second that we lose a second, so for every second that we think about we're not good enough, we lose a second of thinking that we are. So for every second that we waste, this yin and yang of life and this up and down of life, we want to start to control our lives, control the emotion, and you can control the outcome. Control where your focus goes, and you can control the outcome. It's simple, but we overcomplicate it. We overcomplicate it because we go into workplaces and they have these infrastructures that tell us that these are our personal development plans, and this is your position description, and this is the key measurables and key desirables that you have to hit, the results and the outcome, and this is the strategic vision of the company. And all of that is great. But that without a strong enough why, that without enough purpose, that without enough passion, there's disengagement. People come to work and be robots. We don't want robots. We want people that are lit up, that want to come in. They don't want to go home. And you may think, oh, Jules, how do I do that in a work that may seem quite mundane and task-orientated at times? It's got nothing to do with the physical work that you do, with everything about how you feel about the work and how you think about the work. And do you believe in the long-term plan? Do you believe in the company? Do you believe in the people that work there? Is it a positive environment? And we're going to cover all this over the next 12 weeks. So much to cover. But what we are covering today is SWOT. SWOT. You guys may have heard of this before, but a SWOT is so important because a lot of people just wish and hope if they stay in the game long enough, they'll get promoted, their dream job will come along, their dream paycheck will come along. And yeah, you may get there long-term in terms of waiting. Don't wait. Life doesn't come to you. You have to go to life. You have to, literally step up and level up to go after the things that you want because you have the skill and the talent. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, self-auditing, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. These things are critical over these next 12 weeks because understanding your strengths, learning your weaknesses so you can dance around them and dance with your weaknesses, not worry about what they're holding you back from, just know what they're there. And then what are the opportunities? Now we know our strengths and our weaknesses. And what are our threats? What about personal threats? And this is a personal audit. This is not an audit about what you do in your job. It's not an audit about what you want to do in your career or what your purpose is. This is very much an audit of you as a person, a self-audit. Remember, don't wish you was easier, wish you were better. And self-auditing is the only way you can do that. Self-auditing to continue to find out the awareness and the areas of your life that are holding you back and then find out your strength and go all chips in. Because once you start to spend more time getting traction and people start to notice you, you start to make more noise because of what you're naturally good at, which is flow, which is when you're engaged, when you're passionate, when you're driven, your results will come, outcomes will come. But where we go so critically wrong, and please write this down. A lot of people in business and entrepreneurs and companies focus on outcomes and results. Yep, this is our budgets, our marketing plans, this is how much money we have to make this month to be sustainable, which is powerful. Obviously, money is oxygen. You need that. But what we need before that is strong intention. What's the intention of why we're even getting started? So for you, what's your intention? That's your why. Why are you even starting this? Because being a business owner, an entrepreneur, or someone that's going after their dreams in life, it's not easy. It's not easy, or everyone would have it. Everyone else is just going through the 9 to 5. They're just going through life on autopilot. That's it. They're just settling for this being enough. If you want your life to be here rather than here, then you have to literally work these things out and put the time and energy into the craft. So your strengths, what are they? Your weaknesses, what are they? Your opportunities, what are they? And your threats as a person. So, for example, I'll give you a few just so you guys understand the activity quite well, is strengths. So my strengths are I'm a great communicator. My strengths are I'm a great speaker. My strengths are I've got great self-awareness. My strengths are I can build great relationships with people. My strengths are that I can help people rapidly change their life and make it better. I can get from someone from where they are to where they want to go really quick by tapping into the emotional mastery of a person. That's my strength. My weakness is I'm quite disorganized. My weakness is I'm dyslexic. My weakness is that I'm time poor. My weakness is that I probably never spend enough time on me personally and spend a lot of time on what I do because I love it so much. Opportunities are that there's so many great opportunities around. There's continued growth and expand my own knowledge, my own learning, to make more great relationships and more JVs to be able to expand and grow our business. My other opportunities are to continue to find more speaking gigs. My opportunities are that there's a lot of areas of online training I can tap into to give and serve more. These are my opportunities. So many opportunities in the space of being an entrepreneur. My threats are very easily threats, reckless spending, shiny object syndrome, getting ahead of ourselves and spending more money than we should. Our threats are we're not looking after ourselves enough. So there's an ultimate chance of us getting sick or crashing and burning. These are our threats. But because we don't map these out, we don't have great awareness, entrepreneurs and people that want to go after their passion just think that I've got to work so hard all the time. I've got to literally work, 17-hour days to get the result because that's the hustle lifestyle. That's the entrepreneur lifestyle. If you want what you want, you've got to work hard for it. And yes, you do. But working smart and going after the big rocks first, working out what your strengths are, your opportunities are, and working out where your threats lie and your weaknesses are, means your weaknesses, you can get people to support you. Means your threats are you can be really aware. So think about the Titanic. If they were aware that it was an iceberg ahead before they got too close, they would have been able to miss it, and obviously that whole traumatic experience would have been avoided. Same in life. If we're aware enough and we're focused enough, we would see the caution before literally it's too late, because we all crash and burn and we all make bad decisions and we all become stressed and angry and anxious because chasing your dreams and your purpose is not easy, but it's worth it. But if you have the awareness to see the threats well and truly far enough out that you can change them, it may not mean that you win, but it means that you don't crash. It doesn't mean you don't burn. It means that you learn instead. It means that you don't stay on the canvas for too long. It means that you have the awareness. And once you start growing greater awareness in yourself, everything else in your business, your personal life, your career will start to grow as well. Because the Dalai Lama talks about this. A lot of us look for the solution inside our problems, which is we have a problem, we look for a short-term solution. And why we look for that and why that makes us feel good because we came up with a solution in the now, like right now. The solution you seek is actually looking up and out. It's like, well, this is a problem. This problem is probably going to be reoccurring. The solution right now to fix the problem would make me feel better, but I need to step back, ground myself, look up and out and wonder what it is that would fix this problem long term so it never arises again. Entrepreneurs and people don't do that because we want the short fix. And I give a great example of this. It's like when you pay your license fee. I'm not sure if this is you guys, but a lot of people I know do this. You get your license renewal and ask you to pay 12 months or 1 month or 3 months. I think they're the options. And 3 months and 6 months are more expensive than 12 months. So you can pay it off cheaper over the 12 months, or it's more expensive if you go short term. Everyone picks the short term option, which is more expensive in that particular moment, because the other fee for 12 months is more money, yes, but it's cheaper over the 12-month life. So we spend more money short term rather than spending more money in the moment, but it's cheaper across the long game. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So the dollar value is bigger when you decide to purchase your license. But if you divide it out across the 12 months of the year, it actually works out a hell of a lot cheaper. But we don't do that because we want the short term, or it's cheaper gratification and validation, because we're always playing the short game. Same thing happens in life. How you do anything and is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything in your career, in your purpose, in your passion. So if you're playing the short game with how you pay your bills, you're playing the short game when it comes to business. If you're playing the short game in relationships and you're trying to fix them and put out fires all the time, you're playing the short game in your career and your purpose. Start playing the long game. What is it going to get me from where I am to where I want to go long term? and you start to see that truly amazing things start to happen for you. And strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are critical parts of this next 12 weeks, because without the awareness of what these look like, we can't grow. And the awareness circle very much looks like this. We know how to do things. So think about a big pie, yeah? And there's 3 parts of this pie. There's a small part of the pie, a medium part of the pie, and a big part of the pie, which kind of takes up half of the pie. The first bit is the awareness that we know how to do things that we know how to do. So our technical ability, which is I know how to do this thing. So for example, I'm a speaker. I know how to speak and train and coach and facilitate on stage. I know how to use a slide deck. I know how to enhance the audience and really rapidly change behavioral patterns. That's what I know how to do. But that's the smaller part of the pie, because that's our technical ability. It's the things that we know. It's our comfort zone, correct? Our comfort zone is like we know how to do these things really well, so we do more of them because they make us feel safe and significant and worth it and all the things that come into that. And then the bigger bit of the pie, which is the medium part, is the things that we know that we just don't know how to do. So I use the example of a piano. If you understand a piano, it's a musical instrument. And let's say, for example, you don't know how to play the piano, but you know what it actually does. So I have a piano in my house. I don't know how to play the piano, but I know what it does. Same in business, same with Alchemy of Purpose. There's some things that you know, you just don't know how to do. You know that it's probably very handy for you to start to develop and grow your passion and your purpose. You just don't actually know how to do them because you don't have the technical skills and the ability to execute. You could find that out very easily, but that takes time and energy. The only things that grow in life are the things that you give time and energy to, that you want to actually excel in. Because remember, a lot of people want to do these 3 things. Well, there's 3 types of people in business and career and purpose. Watch things happen, make things happen, and wonder what happens. Do you watch things happen, opportunity after opportunity after opportunity pass you by, and you say your friends, your family, your other work colleagues always seem to get things that you don't, and life is so much better for them than it is for me? Or are you someone that says, I wonder what happens? Like, I don't know how 6 months gone by and I've not got any results. Or in this 12-week program, 12 weeks have gone by, I don't know how I got here. Why haven't I grown and learned, and why am I getting better results? Or why are you in a promotion, you're being pigeonholed into a position that you don't even like anymore? Or even in relationships, you're in a relationship, you don't even know how it got to here. Purpose is so important. Or are you that person that makes things happen? It doesn't mean that you always get it right. It does not mean that. It means that you go after what you want. It means that you make some mistakes and you learn along the way. It means that you just continue to excel and push forward. Because the best way to tackle fear and the best way to tackle your weaknesses and the best way to break through your threats is to take more action. Because a lot of people get worried and they get anxious about the next step. So what they actually do is they stop doing anything at all. They go freeze, and then hopefully it passes. That's not how it works. Because it's not in life that things are difficult. It's because we put them off and put them off and put them off that they become difficult. And we're like, oh, now it's 6 months into the year. Oh, no, it's too much work. I'm just going to wait till the start of next year. There's so much time in every single day. There's so much time in every single week and every single month. But we waste it doing things that don't serve us, to impress people we don't like, to get things we don't even need. Alchemy of Purpose raises your awareness on these things. What is it you actually want? What is it you actually need? What's going to get you the greatest result? What's going to get you the greatest return on investment? What's going to get you the happiest, most passionate person? Because when you're doing that, you're infectious. When you're doing that, people want to work with you. When you're doing that, the phone's ringing, they're calling you and saying, I want you in. How can I work with you? What you do is so great. Because Steve Jobs said this. The only way we can do great work is to love what we do. I'll say this again, and please write this down. The only way that we can do great work is to love what we do. And if we don't love it, we're never going to achieve great results and great things and outstanding things. Because when you're just going through the process of life and you're just being a human being or doing rather than being a human being, and you just feel like they're on autopilot life, remember your last here rather than here, this is what will happen. But the key is the self-auditing. The key is creating more self-awareness. The key is that if you were to do these things, you would find that rapidly your life doesn't change, but your awareness of things does. So when you start going to work and you start applying yourself, you get the result quicker. You start to put more time and energy into it. You start to get different distinctions and different learning. You start to pull all these things together, and you start to truly soon realize that anything is truly possible for you with time and energy. Time and energy are the keys to building your alchemy of purpose. Spend enough time learning the skills, developing the talents, finding out what you're good at, what you're not good at. Remember, that's time. And then energy is like, I want to continue to do it. I want to push myself to learn. I want to do things right now, even though I don't feel like doing them right now. That's the difference. Because purpose is such a big part of life. Purpose is the thing that makes us feel like we're meant to be here. Like, are you doing that right now? Are you living on purpose? Are you doing the thing that you were meant to do? You were put on this planet to do. And if you are, then awesome. Then we're just going to make that better. But if you're not, and you're lost and you're wandering, and you're wondering what is next, then this next 12 weeks are also going to be amazing for you. Because there's a great story. It's like Alice in Wonderland, that's running down the path, and the Mad Hatter's chasing Alice in Wonderland. And she runs to the end of the road, and you can only go left or you can go right. She turns back to the Mad Hatter and goes, Mad Hatter, which way should I go? Left or right? Mad Hatter responds to Alice and says, well, what are you looking for? She said, I'm not sure. And he says, well, it doesn't matter if you go left or right. You're lost anyway. And this is not about just picking left or right or up or down or back flips and front flips. This is about picking clarity. It's about picking awareness. It's about picking something and putting all our time and energy into it and staying the course, playing the long game, doing the little things well every single day. Remember this, the little things well every single day. Laying the foundations, the brickwork to get what you want. Because as a society, we seek instant gratification, instant validation, and we're so impatient. If there was a magic pill to make you successful, you'd take it. If there was a magic pill to get you what you wanted in life, you would take it. And that's not reality. Unless you've got a talent and a skill that the world is in desperate need of, like it's got to change the world that quick. It's like literally flick a switch and people's lives get better, the world gets better. People will come for you. But that's instant gratification, instant validation. But most of us have to work and beat on our craft and develop positioning and branding and work on ourselves to grow to being the best version of it so we can get the return on investment. You are your greatest investment. People always talk to me about products. Like, Jules, I want to sell this product, I want to have this brand. Do you bet on the jockey or do you bet on the horse? A lot of people bet on the horse. And yes, you need a good horse, which is the company. You need a great product, which is the horse. These things are all very important. The product and the company and the brand. The horse is very important. But the jockey, which is you, is more important because the jockey will take the horse anywhere. The jockey is the person that thinks and feels and acts and does. We're human beings. We understand the consumer. We understand ourselves. We understand our emotion. Our products and our companies will never understand what we understand. That's why we're so important. The jockeys are always more important. But people spend so much time developing their horse, making sure the horse is a winner. But you can have a great horse and have a terrible jockey and still lose. But you want a good horse and an amazing jockey. And that's what we're trying to work through with you guys for the next 12 weeks of this alchemy of purpose. How can we develop a jockey? And how then can you apply that into the structure of developing a great horse? Because once you can do that, play the slow game. Remember that, play the long game. You'll go far. You want to play the short game, you'll go fast, and you'll lose and you'll win and you'll get some instant validation and some pleasure, and you'll get some wins and you'll feel like you've achieved things. And you also crash and burn. Or you play the long game and you start to see the little steps make the big difference in alchemy of purpose. Please understand this. The little things make the big difference in alchemy of purpose. Because when you break it down to micro detail and you have the crystal clarity and focus that you want to go after what you want, which is awareness precedes change, then we have focus, and then we use our emotions to get what we want. You put the task at hand, and so many people get so overwhelmed about what can I do, how can I get there, well, I've got to do all this, and they look at it such as a big picture. So, wow, so many things to do. And yeah, there are things to do, but that's what makes it so cool. The challenge makes it amazing. The resilience to keep pushing. Like, we're better when we're tested. We're better when our back's against the wall. We're better when we're challenged, because that's growth. Success really is outside your comfort zone. We all hear it, as cliche as it is, but that's growth. When you're challenged, you find a way to win, and you learn, and you grow again, and you grow again, and you grow again. That's what makes great entrepreneurs. That's what makes great alchemy of purpose. Because to go after your purpose, you need to make some mistakes. To go after your purpose, you need to be challenged. To go after your purpose, you need to be knocked down. And Les Brown says this, not because we aim so high and we miss. So it's not because we have the biggest, baddest goals that our aspirations are so big and it's so amazing that we fail in life, guys. It's because we aim too low and we hit. It's not because we aim so high and we miss. It's because we aim so low and we hit. We set these micro manageable goals that kind of just a little bit test us, and then we know we can win because then we can seek validation that we're good enough and we achieve something. And if we didn't achieve it, then it wasn't that big anyway because it's only a little goal. But when you put it all on the line and you're like, I'm going for the gold. I ain't going to be no silver or, bronze medallion winner. I'm going to be a gold medalist. I'm a champion. This is who I am. This is what I want. This is why I'm doing it. And this is how I'm going to get there. These things start to change in your life because you're in control. You're demanding these things to come. And a lot of people think that talent is the way to get there. It's not skill. Like talent, yes, is very powerful. Skill is, again, beating on your craft and working harder than the person to your left and your right, working harder for you. And not, please get this, not about expectations and preferences of people or yourself. It's just about raising your standard every day. Raising your standard around your SWOT, which is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. How can you grow your strength? How can you continue to develop your strength? Because a lot of people have a strength and they don't develop it anymore because it's already a strength. Like my strength is I'm a great speaker. I work on my speaking every single day. Every day that I am on this planet, I'm working on developing being a better speaker because I'm a great speaker, but I want to be outstanding. I want to be world's best. I want to be, when my time here is done and people look back, they say the world was better because Jules was here, because his words resonated with people. His words made a difference. His words represented hope. His words represented possibility for so many. That's what I want. So that's why I beat on my craft every single day. So what I'm good at, my strengths, I want to be my greatest talents. The things that leave the legacy behind. When people think Julian Pace, they see the legacy, like your superhero gift. And we'll talk about this next week in next week's webinar. But that superhero gift, that's like your go-to move. If you're a superhero in business, what would be your kapow and your wow factor that people are like, wow, that was so crazy, that was so good. And when we do that, we tap into it. It's freaking powerful. It's so powerful because you can't fight being authentic. You can't fight being real, because when it comes from your gut and it comes from your heart and you use your mind for the strategy and get out of your head and get into your heart and use courage, it's too powerful for life to stop. It's too powerful for people in your environments to stop, because when you're in flow, watch out, because you just start to do more things that make you feel better. You start to get more things that make you feel better. You start to achieve and get the results and the outcomes that you do because you're feeling better. And when you feel better, you take more action. The reason why a lot of us don't take action is because we live in fear, or we're worried, or we procrastinate. But when you start winning and pushing yourself and exerting yourself and working out that life doesn't fail when you fail. You may fail in the moment, but failure is only a learning style if you choose to. It's just another personal part of personal development. Failing is a tool. They just don't teach you that at school. They teach you how to be the best. They teach you how to be the best at university. That's why we get A, B, C's, and D's. Awesome. But reality is not like that, A, B, C's, and D's. We don't need any B's or C's or D's. We just need a plan A, which is this plan. We don't need a plan B or a plan C or a plan D. We just need a plan A, because anything else is a distraction. And it's scary when you go all chips in on your plan A. It's all scary when you decide to take the island and you burn the boats. When you're like, I can't get home now, I'm burning the boats, but I'm going to take the island because I'm committed, I'm obsessed, because there's no other option for me. I ain't going to fail this because I'm putting all my time, energy, love, knowledge, and application into this. Failure is not an option. But the thing is, we don't all go chips in. I say, let's go all chips in, and people are like, I'll go all chips in. And like, Jules, look, there's an elephant, and then you kind of put one pile of chips in, and you kind of put the other chips to the side, just in case for a rainy day. And then when we fail, it's like, oh, you know what, it was never going to work. But you didn't apply yourself, because you put some in, which is a little bit of certainty. You put the others out, which is risk, fear, anxiety. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to fail. So it's a backup plan. This is where I'll challenge you over the next 12 weeks. There ain't no backup plan here. There ain't no backup plan and purpose, because how can you have 2? How can you have 3? How can you have 4? Because you try and chase multiple purposes in life and you catch none. And then we dabble and we wonder why we never get what we truly want, and why we feel like we get things that don't even make us happy Because if you just knew what you want with crystal clarity, you created awareness, you started to shift and mold who you were to go for it, to level up your life, then you would see that going after the one thing will give you everything else that you're looking for. Because when you're happy and you're on purpose and you're living your purpose and working in your purpose, your relationships get better, your life gets better, your health gets better, your wealth gets better. Everything gets better as a result of you being on purpose, because you spend so much time trying to find what you were put on this planet to do. We always ask ourselves this question: is this it? Is this all I'm meant to do? Is this all I'm meant to be? Was I put here to do this? And I know you've asked yourself these questions before. And if you are still, and you still wonder that now, please write this down. Not all people in life are wandering that are lost. Not all people in life that are wandering are lost. You may be a little off course right now, and you may have lost the map, but we're going to draw you a new one over the next 12 weeks. We're going to give you a more powerful map, which has got more clarity. It's not this old, scrunched up map that you kind of think this is where you're going, and I think that's up, and I think that's down, and maybe I should turn around, or who knows. We're going to build you a map that's going to serve you. We're going to build you a map that's going to give you great distinctions. We're going to give you a map that makes you feel better. We're going to give you a map that tests you along the way. And we're going to give you a map that makes you feel like at times you're literally off course. Because that's when we find the best distinctions that we need. When we're a little bit out of control. We're in a little bit between ability and challenge, and ability and chaos. Because we start to challenge ourselves to be in the mindset and the capacity of growth, in the state of growth. And when we do that, everything will start to align for you and make sense for you. And when we, again, commit unconditionally to doing this, the next 12 weeks, and I hope after this live stream, you guys, or this webinar, you guys take away the big distinctions that you need. But this 12 weeks is going to be powerful. But 1, you need to do the work. 2, you need unconditional. 3, you need to be here for you. And 4, you need to be real. Don't fake who you are in this process. You can never fake who you are. A lot of people try and be something or do something and have purpose because they read it in a book or they saw it on a YouTube channel. That doesn't mean that you can be aligned and be happy, because you may get it one day and you realize, I worked so hard for this and I'm still not even happy. I'm still not even happy because we go after things that make us feel better and we think we can do. But that's not purpose. Purpose is like, what is it I really want? How am I going to get it? And then work out a spaceship or a structure to get you there, a map to get you there, to fly you to new heights. And that's when you truly get purpose. That's when you truly get alignment. That's when you truly, when people ask you what you do, you're just like, I just light up because I'm so passionate about this. You want to know what you're passionate about, guys? A big tip. When you talk about it, it lights you up. It's like you see the energy change in your body. It's like when you talk about it, people are like, wow, you can say it's so passionate. That's passion. And you have passion in your life right now. There's things in your life right now that will give you great clarity about what you can do next, what lights you up. There's good things in your life right now that have been part of your journey, part of your story that we can tap into to give you more skill. Not what you learned at university, not what you learned at school, what you learned on the job of life. Talk about being an apprentice. What you learned with your hands, what you learned with your feelings, what you learned with your thoughts. In life, this crazy thing we call life, that's work experience. That's passion experience. We have all these things to give us the learnings that we need to be able to be great at being on purpose. They don't just happen to us. Yeah, we learn things at university, we learn things at school, which is really powerful. We learn things from others. But our experiences shape and mold us. Our moments of impact shape and mold us. Our impacts design and craft the future for what we want if we've got the courage to grab it with both hands and go after it. This program is about you guys grabbing the courage, taking the courage before confidence to go after what you want. Because we think we need confidence to get started. We don't. We need more courage. And as we get more courage and more courageous, we start to take more action. As a result of that, we start to feel more confident. And then that circle just continues. So your homework between now and next week's webinar is 10 strengths, your 10 strengths. And if you get stuck on this, ask some people that know you, that you work with, your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. Ask them to let you know what your strengths are, because sometimes when you're too close to the project, you may not be able to see it, but spend time. It should take you an hour minimum. Spend the time thinking about it. You get into a nice state, a relaxed state in the office or in your room or down at the beach. and spend time working out the 10 things that make you great, your 10 strengths, your then 10 weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? What are your cracks in what you do? 10. What are the 10 opportunities for you in the next 12 weeks from the next 12 months? What are them opportunities? What do they look like? What's the big rocks? Please go big rocks. Don't go little rocks. Go big rocks. We go after the big rocks first because that's how we get the most rewarding traction, because we're challenging ourselves to do the big things first. Not playing, the little game again and, being a big fish in a small pond. We want to be a small fish in a big pond so we're learning. We want to be a student of life. And then 10 things that are threats to you. What are threats to your life that you need to be aware of in the next 12 weeks? It might be family. It might be friends. It might be your boss. It might be your infrastructure. It might be time. What's going to hold you back from getting what you want? And then dissolve it now. And then look up and look at and anticipate, because leaders, entrepreneurs, successful people, they anticipate and they act. I can see some threats. What can I do now to anticipate this and make sure I can dissolve it before it becomes a real problem and a real pain in my backside for the next 12 weeks or 12 years? So 10, 10, 10, and 10. Then I want you guys to post these up on the Facebook wall. I want you guys to post your 10 strengths, your 10 weaknesses, your 10 opportunities, and your 10 threats up on your Facebook wall. Homework, SWOT. This is a homework week 1 SWOT. So your hashtag should be homework week 1 SWOT. SWOT. Homework week 1 SWOT. So I can see, I can go through it. I can coach you guys when we speak on the phone and talk to you guys about what your strengths actually are, what that means to have that strength, and how can we develop it more. So having a strength, and then how can we now level up that strength? Okay, that weakness, how can we delegate that weakness out, or how can we dissolve that weakness altogether? Because sometimes we worry about our weaknesses that don't even matter. They're literally just concerns. Like, I'm not a great reader. I've got dyslexia. I don't even worry about it because I can't get better. I read actively, and I can read at the capabilities that's necessary for me to do what I do. But I'm not going to worry about it any more than that, because more time and energy I worry that I can't read or I'm reading more books aren't going to help me do my great things better. All chips in on your strengths and audit your weaknesses and work out which ones that you don't need. That's your homework between now and next week. And before I go, this is going to be powerful when we speak, because a lot of people think that the result is what makes them great. And I'll share this. I've been in business for a long time now, 10 years. And I was an outstanding leader. And I got promoted from a very young age because I dropped out of school at 13. And I ended up getting an early supervisor job at 18. And I excelled in the first 3 years, became a leader, a manager, a director. And I spent 7 years of my career being a director. And I was one of the youngest directors in local government. And I changed some of the faces of infrastructure, how government actually works. Because going after what you want with obsession, all these things, you get to change the game. And just because it's been done like this for so long, guys, doesn't mean that you can't make a new script. And exactly what I did in government. But I share you this because I thought that what made me outstanding at what I did. I thought that what made me great because I was a great leader. I thought I kept getting promoted and promoted and promoted because I was a great leader. People like, he's got a great leader of people. He's a great leader of himself. It wasn't that. What made me a great leader was because I had the ability to build great relationships. I had the ability to tap into people's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then work together to make that work. To not help them focus on their weaknesses, to help them to focus on their strengths and their opportunities, and how we get there together. I had a relationship component that made me great at what I did. But then I realized it wasn't even